There were so many questions, but let's start here. Do you have bad breath? Does it make you have bad breath? No. Honestly, if anything, I feel like my breath has improved, and my teeth too. My teeth have no plaque on them. And Paul and I were talking about that the other day. We think it's so bizarre. They feel so clean. It feels like we've just had our teeth cleaned by the dentist. I don't know what side effect that is, but maybe it's from chewing the meat so rigorously. But for some reason, my teeth feel fantastic and no smelly breath whatsoever. I'm not in keto though. I'm on carnivore, so I wonder if in ketosis, maybe that's why your mom's breath smells, because she has plants in her system. This makes me laugh too, because this was a really big question. So once a day, comfortably, and no tooting, none whatsoever. Have not had a toot in 14 days, or however many days since we started this, 11 days, 12 days. I literally feel great. My digestive system's working perfectly. I'm not going to the bathroom often. Paul has IBS and kind of has always had a funny stomach, and he's definitely noticed a difference. He's going to the bathroom once a day comfortably, and in the beginning I think it was a little bit difficult for him to wrap his head around, oh, am I gonna have a stomach ache, am I gonna be bloated? But we both feel really good now. It's just how your body reacts to it. So give yourself a week on it before you decide to stop. There are a ton of carnivore podcasts, but the ones that we've been listening to were the ones on Joe Rogan. There's also a guy named Dr. Kiltz who's fantastic, and also Sean Baker, Dr. Sean Baker, I believe. There's also a guy named Anthony Chafe or something. I can link them for you guys, but they're all really, really good. They're all doctors, all board certified, and they're the ones that have really made this super famous. So just listen to it. Jordan Peterson's amazing. Michaela Peterson's podcasts are fantastic, and she's the one that talks about curing her autoimmune disease, and again, fantastic, easy to listen to, and that's where I'm getting a lot of my information. Just to remember why we're here, the carnivore diet aids in getting rid of your brain fog. Obviously, it gets you to lose weight, which is why it's become super popular lately, because it seems to be a diet that a lot of people can stick to. It also has to do with curing autoimmune diseases, getting diabetics off their medication fully. I guess there's a lot of studies that said 100% of them went off of their diabetes medicine. It's just a fascinating way to eat, and also it's getting all the preservatives out of your body. It seems to be a detox for a lot of people. We decided to do it for 7 days, but now, we're halfway to 2 weeks, and I think we're going to probably stay on it for 30. So many benefits to it. More energy, increased cognitive ability, which is probably the number one thing that we wanted, and obviously weight loss for a lot of people. So you literally can't have anything processed. So it's no squash, no fizzy drinks, aside from sparkling water, no sodas or anything like that. Coffee you really probably shouldn't have, but I love it, and they say it's okay on the carnivore diet because it obviously has no carbs. But what you could have is bone marrow broth. A lot of people have bone broth, and they really like that for a warm drink in the morning. So the recommended amount of time is 60 to 90 days. People swear by that. Are we going to do it that long? I have no idea. We originally just wanted to do it for 7 days to see how we felt, and we were really lucky because we felt really good right off the bat. And a lot of people, it takes 7 to 14 days to even get into that ketosis state. We obviously weren't eating that badly, but we think we're going to do it for 30 days. We're going to try our best to do it for 30 days and see where we go from there. But the major benefits most people are saying are 60 to 90 days. So yeah, and then basically after the 90 days going to more of a keto diet. But I don't know what we'll do. So right now I'm having 1 electrolyte a day. However, there were a couple days in there where I just, didn't feel well. So I just had a secondary electrolyte, and that really seemed to help. They say putting salt in your water can help too, but electrolytes apparently are really, really good for you. However, some of them have carbs in it, and then that can take you out of ketosis. The ones that we're on are LMNT. I feel like that's Elementi. And the other one is Free Soul that we like. And we've also tried Will Powders, which are really good too. So we have 3 separate ones that we're kind of mixing about, but I probably only have 1 a day right now. So on keto, you can have milk and cheese. You have to have full fat milk and cheese. They have to be fully fat, none of this low fat crap. And I think on some carnivore diets, you can do hard Parmesan and things like that. With what I'm doing, we were we're quite flexible about it. And then I decided to put in some cheese in a meal 2 nights ago, and I felt so unwell. So we've gone back to strict carnivore. The strictest of carnivore is red meat, salt, and water. But we're just doing meats, salt, and water, and eggs, basically. Bacon, butter, eggs, things like that. So we're getting our fats from butter and obviously the beef fat, but I just couldn't do the cheeses. I would love to be able to. I'm really, really hoping that was just a one-off, and I'm going to try to incorporate some other cheeses in, maybe hard Parmesan or things like that. But for some reason, I put some cottage cheese in, and it was a no-no. That is an excellent question. Like, how do you come off of this diet? What I can say is that we're probably never going to go back to eating how we ate. Me and Paul are shocked by the amount of energy that we have and the way that we're waking up in the mornings, and also like our patience with one another has gotten so much better in like a week. Like we don't argue really, but when we do argue, it's kind of testy, and we've kind of lost all that because I feel like we're thinking clearer. I don't know if there's a way to fully wean yourself off of it. Like, I don't think you should ever go back to eating processed stuff, but you can go into more of a keto / paleo where you maybe add in more cruciferous vegetables or things like that. However, now that I've been watching all the stuff about how plants are poison, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know how we'll do that. Maybe we'll stay carnivore most of the time, and then maybe we'll add in the full fat cheeses or a cauliflower cheese meal or something like that, or a sweet treat like dark chocolate or an ice cream, something like that in the future. But right now, I don't know. This seems to be the number one question in here, people asking about cholesterol. Again, not a doctor, so get your information from other places and do some research on it. But apparently this raises your good cholesterol and not your bad cholesterol. I think it has something to do with LDL. If you listen to some research by this guy named Dr. Sean Baker, he's fascinating, and he just basically talks about how there's been some studies done, and there'll be some studies returning this year basically to confirm the fact that if you are on this diet and that cholesterol rises, you're not at a risk of any cancers or strokes or things like that. However, having high cholesterol, like they suggest not to have bacon or butter or things like that to raise your cholesterol, red meat, sorry. They say that because you're on the standard American diet or the standard UK diet, because your body's not breaking things down in ketosis the way that my body is now in ketosis. And I don't know, it has to do with glycate or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I do know that if you do your research, you're not as scared of it. This is also a great question. Even if the veggies haven't been sprayed with pesticides and they're all organic and whole foods, plants still have a microbiome or something in them that causes, they call it plant poison, which ultimately when it breaks down inside your stomach and your gut, it turns to sugar. And then the sugar is what is killing all of us. So it's a very extreme way to look at things and think. Do I agree with all of it? I don't know yet, but I'm just doing my research, and that's kind of how I've dumbed it down in my head. But definitely go and check out Sean Baker, Dr. Kiltz. He's lovely, and their stuff is very fascinating. Go watch the Michaela Peterson podcast about it, and also the Jordan Peterson podcast. He lost like 60 pounds or something ridiculous and looks about 20 years younger, and it all started because his daughter had an autoimmune disease. So check those out before you let me answer it for you. So right now I'm eating at any time. They suggest, the best way we could eat would be once a day, twice at most, because apparently it allows your gut to reheal, because the inflammation that is caused by when we eat doesn't ever settle down if we graze all day. Right now, I'm eating multiple times a day, and I don't plan on stopping that unless I'm not hungry. So I'll eat probably twice a day, but that's kind of what I was eating anyways. I'd had the occasional snack before dinner, depending on what time dinner was. But right now, we're probably eating at around 6:37, and then that's my last meal. And then I'll have a coffee in the morning, maybe around 11:30, 12. So I'm technically kind of intermittent fasting without even kind of knowing that I'm doing it, but I've done that for years. I've never really been a big breakfast person, which also look into how breakfast was started and why it's all a scam. So I actually recently had bloods done because I was testing them for my thyroid. This was like a couple months ago. So I plan on doing this for a month and then getting my bloods tested, and I promise I'll report back, and I'll be completely honest. If it makes me feel good, great, but if my bloods are bad, I will tell you the truth. I don't think they will be. I'd be shocked if they are, but I did actually have my bloods done a couple months ago, so we can compare it to that. So the recipe for that protein bread was literally 2 eggs and a cup of cottage cheese. Now, it did not agree with me. I did not like it. I'm not going to lie. I love the taste of it. It tasted great. And you need to blend it up in a blender, which I didn't have, so it was a bit chunky, but we loved it. Loved the taste of it. It was quite flat bready, but it didn't agree with me. So if you're doing carnivore, I suggest leave that for a few weeks in. Get a few weeks into this, be a month into it, then maybe try it. I'm excited to try other cheeses, but right now, the way that I feel, I don't want that feeling again. It was really bad. Honestly, I am a little bit nervous about coming off of it. I think that I probably won't fully come off of it. I mean, unless my body just gets weaned back into it, I'd be shocked, because I just feel so much better when I'm eating more meat and less processed stuff. I think that now, if I keep going with this and I add in a treat here or there, I think I'll be able to withstand it, but I'm a little bit nervous. I I don't really see the reason as to why we need to come off of it unless we got some bad results or something, or we started to feel bad. I think I'll just go by how my body feels. But yeah, it's going to be difficult to eat like this all the time when we're traveling and stuff. So I'm going to have to try to find some alternatives, and I will do my best to let you know if I find any good ones. Why do I whip my heavy cream when I put it in my coffee? Because it makes me feel good. Because it makes me think that it's like a cappuccino or a coffee with actual whipped cream. It just gives me that little bit extra to make me go, this is delicious. It's fine if you just pour it in, a little bit of pouring cream, but something about like the little bit of foam and frost on the top just makes it feel all the more satisfying. Right now, I don't really snack on anything. I'm kind of eating twice a day, but if I need a snack, like if I want something at 4 p.m. and dinner's not till 6, I might just have a hard-boiled egg or a piece of smoked salmon, or if we've got leftover ground beef, whatever's left over. It's kind of like part of this is about the meal prep. If you meal prep right, you'll have leftovers the next day, and those leftovers end up being what you eat for lunch or for a snack or whatever, right? But hard-boiled eggs are definitely your friend. They definitely have helped me throughout all of this. I'm absolutely shocked with the amount of questions that there were on here. However, I get it. I'm so glad that you guys have asked questions. I'm still asking questions, still learning things. There are so many good resources. Just Google it, check on YouTube, check out the doctors that I mentioned, and yeah, let me know if you end up doing it. Like I said, not the authority. This is just my opinion, but I'm learning so much, and I feel so good that part of this little series was kind of meant to be something funny where it would be 7 days of misery that my husband put me on this diet. But in reality, it's ended up being 12 days now of us really enjoying it and saying, shall we keep going? So anyways, guys, thanks for asking all the questions. I hope you guys liked these answers, and let me know if you guys have decided to do it with us. And yeah, let us know if you're enjoying it and how you feel too. Anyways, bye.